In my years working in the field of medical devices and bioengineering, I've come to realize that courage doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It's not something you suddenly gain overnight. It's a mindset that gradually builds up over time. For anyone looking to become more brave, it's essential to enjoy the process of becoming bolder. If each act of bravery fills you with regret or anxiety, it will be challenging to truly grow in courage. So, what is this courage we are talking about? Courage comes in three forms, which are self-confidence, fatalism, and passionate bravery. Let's talk about each of them. By the way, I'm Voronkova, founder of OVA Solutions, and also I'm a bioengineer. My team has launched over 150 medical products. Well, now you may notice that this video is not about bioengineering. Through my work studying how the human body responds to stress and changes, I've gained some unique insights into personal transformation. So today I want to talk about courage and how it can transform your life. A self-confident person believes that the universe, or whatever higher power they may or may not believe in, favors them just as much as anyone else. Even an atheist can embody this kind of courage, seeing life as a series of random factors where they have just as much chance of succeeding as anyone else. This type of courage is built on the perception of one's strengths and capability. When you believe in yourself, it's like having a superpower that helps you do amazing things. In a pathological sense, this courage can turn into the fearlessness that you may see in psychopaths, who can't even accept the idea that the world wasn't created for them. They carry an irrational sense of grandeur. But in a healthy individual, this courage is simply self-assurance, the inner peace that comes from knowing you deserve a place in the world, just like anyone else. In my work, whether developing medical devices or leading teams, this type of confidence has been, I would say, critical. Because when I design a new product, I must believe in my capability to innovate and succeed, even when I feel some uncertainty about the process. Okay, now let's talk about the second form of courage, which is fatalism. A fatalist typically has no fear because they genuinely believe that nothing is within their control. This might sound like a little bit of a paradox, but many anxious people believe that every gesture or thought they have will impact everything that happens to them and even what happens to others. It's kind of hyper responsibility. But the truth is, much of what happens in life is beyond our control. A healthy dose of fatalism can help you relax and stop overthinking every decision. Sometimes you just have to trust that not everything depends on your actions. And talking about my life, I should say that in the realm of bioengineering and medical device development, this concept resonates strongly. I've learned that not every outcome is within our control, no matter how much we plan, and accepting this can free us from the constant worry of making mistakes. So I personally like the idea of do what needs to be done and let the fate decide. And now the third form of courage, which is called passionate bravery. This is when a person is so dedicated to a cause or idea that they lose sight of themselves in the process. Passionate individuals are often the most brave, the bravest, the most courageous because they lack egocentricity. They are driven by a purpose which is typically greater than themselves. For them, the idea of death or failure is almost irrelevant because they are so deeply connected to their mission. And this kind of courage is something I've seen in the most successful startup founders, most successful innovators in the medical field I met in my career. So they are typically not just driven by personal gain. They are motivated by a deep passion to solve problems and make a difference in the world. And it's not an exaggeration. So in my own journey, combining these forms of courage was, I would say, critical. Building a successful career in challenging field like medical devices requires a balance of self-confidence, acceptance of what's beyond my control, and a passionate commitment to my work. And courage isn't just about making bold moves, it's about creating a mindset that supports those moves. By integrating these forms of courage into your life, you'll be better equipped to face challenges, both in your personal journey and in your professional space. So now you may want to ask yourself, do you believe in yourself or just in your idea? If that's the latter, consider what lessons you can learn from your current experiences and how they can guide your next step. Courage isn't just about taking risks, it's about learning and growing through them. You might not realize it, but people who lack courage and who have this fear making decisions often spend their time overanalyzing, measuring, calculating everything, and this process can go on forever. They believe that by dissecting every detail they can avoid making mistakes, but in reality, this approach only feeds their insecurities, trapping them into indecision. So no, it's not better to endlessly analyze. If you have the problem of fear of taking responsibility, you must accept the possibility of making a mistake and understand that any error is better than being constantly unsure of yourself. And relying solely on rational thought is impossible when you're dealing with fears. The mind is a servant of emotions. It exists to rationalize desires and motives, not to control them. There is an illusion that the mind leads a person when their desires align with logic. Well, the mind adapts, but it appears otherwise. Or when those desires are weak, bordering on apathy. But when desires are strong, the mind gives way. Courage is often misunderstood and it can manifest in different ways. From my point of view, courage isn't something you're born with. It's something you cultivate over time, something you can train. It's about accepting the possibility of mistakes, letting go of excessive control, and finding this perfect balance between self-assurance and humility. The journey to becoming a braver person may be gradual, but it's a path worth taking. Whether it's building confidence, embracing a bit of fatalism, or immersing yourself in a cause greater than yourself, the key is to take this first step and keep moving forward. So, are you ready to be brave? If you've seen an opportunity, make a decision and take the first step right now. Forget the doubts, just go for it. I'm Voronkova. See you in the next video.